Hi. Uh, where do I even start here now? You know how I write stories and scripts? Well, a part of that has bled into the way that I watch and read and view things. Narratives are something I see a lot more of. Stories, points, views, perceptions. I don't know. It's just the way that I see things when it comes to like manga and anime. I'm watching Apothecary Diaries right now. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch it. I think it's this perfect balance of world building, storytelling, romance, drama. It encapsulates this idea of thinking. But that's not what I got so excited and I rushed to talk to you about. Have you ever seen like a movie or show where they try to capture what it feels like to have a panic attack? And it's usually this overly elaborate scene with somebody screaming or frailing or jutting about the place. And it usually like it's good for like a dramatic effect, but it's not how it is, you know? It doesn't hit you in your core. You don't relate to it. You just be like, that's kind of intense. That's kind of crazy. But you don't sit back and be like, that's me. You know? And there's this scene, right, in Apothecary Diaries, where it's this hard cut to like disfigured people. But it's like, it's pictured in this way you can tell it's altered, right? It's like an altered reality, and you there's this little kid, and he's like perfectly visualized, okay? But everyone around him is blurred out, so you can tell that it's he remembers himself as a kid very clearly, but he doesn't remember the things around him very clearly. And then you realize that he's remembering the past, and he's putting the pieces together, and he can see very specific things very clearly, things that stuck with him throughout the years. He can see himself, he can see his mother, the look she has on her face, and then he can see a gem that falls out of this skeletonly man's hands as he's being dragged away. And then as he reaches for the gem, we snap to black, and our male MC wakes up. And he goes on this monologue of, that was a very nasty dream. And I've had those moments before myself where it's like, I wake up from a dream and my heart is pounding, I'm sweating, I'm anxious, the silence is loud, deafening. But I'm not screaming, I'm not shouting, I'm not like flailing around. I'm sitting there, feeling my heart pounding, feeling the silence around me feel like a cage. And then you do the next thing that you know to do. You stand up, you take your first step, and you go into your routine. You go, you brush your teeth, you start making breakfast, you go to do the dishes, And that's when it hits you. That's when the panic attack settles. For me, there are times where I'm doing the dishes and just my hands feel like just shattering everything. But I don't scream out. I just hold it all in, and that feeling is what they captured in the moment where he was working out, doing his sword play. We call it kata in karate. It was where you like do this set rotation of moves. It's like a dance, and he's doing them, and in the middle of doing them, all the bottled emotions that he was like keeping inside from waking up till now finally hits, and he just slowly drops to the ground. And then he remembers what makes him feel safe. And there's so many times where you're clinging to something, anything, to ground you while you're having a panic attack, while your body is just shaking in fear, while you're curling up in the fetal position, while your brain is just going a million miles an hour and everything around you feels so overwhelming. He remembers the female lead, the way that her eyes see through the mystery, because if you watch the show, she basically goes around solving mysteries that happens in the area that she's staying in. And to him, his past with his mother, his father, the guy who was like a skeleton in his dream, and his grandmother, his past and his present is like a cage to him, because no one can know the truth, but he knows the truth. And the weight of that emotional, like, it just weighs down on him to the point where he goes through his day, and even remembering, his body goes through the motions of it, and it just cripples him, and he just curls down, lays down on the floor, and just shakes, and just like breathes, goes into the fetal position, thinks of her, and then tries his best to calm down. I can't express to you just how perfect that depiction is. Oh, sorry. Like, as someone who tries to like write scenes like this for books and for scripts and stuff, it's like, that's perfect storytelling. From the way he wakes up and lingers on the bed, from the way he goes into his routine, trying to like distance himself from the emotions, from the way that nothing triggers it, but it comes in from in the most random time that you are so used to doing, in ways that you're like, this is everyday occurrence, but when you know it's getting bad, it's not like somebody yelling at you is gonna break it. No. Somebody's gonna yell at you, and you're gonna stomach that, and you're gonna hold that, and then you're gonna walk home, and then you're gonna try to open, I don't know, like a fork for food, and you're gonna drop the fork, and that fork falling is what's gonna break you. And then watching the fork fall, and just feeling that gut wrenching as all the emotions and all of the weight of everything comes crashing down, as you just like slowly just drop to your knees, drop on your back, drop on your ass, and you just feel it all. It's just, there are very few media that evokes emotion. But I don't know. That was such a well written, well animated, well choreographed scene. I just needed to talk to you about it. I just needed to like dork out and have you listen, so that Okay, alright. I love you. Forever, always.